Welcome to Pre-K Discovery with Miss Barb. I'm so glad you joined me today. So here we are. It's still the month of November, N-O-V-E-M-B-E-R, November. That's our month. And how do I know that's our month? Because I know the song. Can you sing the song with me? January, February, March and April, May, June, July and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. And November is our 11th month of the year, which means we only have one more month left, and 2020 will change. So let's count together and see what day of the week it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Today is November 17th, 2020, and we are almost a week away from Thanksgiving. I can't wait because I love pumpkin pie. All right, so before we get started with our story tough, last week I introduced you to a new segment of our story, Pre-K Discovery, called Quick Words. And we learned about the word at, A-T, at. And if you remember, we added new letters to the word at to make new words, such as we added the letter R and we made the word rat. And a rat looks just like this, rat. So R-A-T, rat. If I take away the R and I add the letter H to it, my new word is now the word hat, H-A-T, hat. And I have a picture of a cowboy hat, hat. So if I take away the H and I add the letter S, sat, sat. The boy sat in the chair and he would look something like this, sat. All right, I'm going to take away the S because these are quick words, and I'm going to add the letter B. And B says B, bat, bat. And we know what a bat looks like, right? A bat looks like this. I have one more quick word for you today, and then next week we'll have new words. So the last one I'm going to do is the letter C. And when I add the letter C to at, it says k, cat, cat. And we know that this is a cat, C-A-T, cat. And those are our quick words. All right, I'm going to move that aside. Okay, so we have been talking in November about nocturnal animals. And you remember nocturnal means animals that are active at night. So nocturnal. And on here they have an owl, a raccoon, a coyote, and a bat. So we've already talked about raccoons. And last week we talked about owls. So who do you think we'll be talking about this week? Well, we are going to be talking about the koala. The koala. And I'm going to read the story to you today called I Don't Like Koala. And then we're going to talk about koalas afterwards. I Don't Like Koala, and it's by Ferrell, and the pictures are by Charles Santoso. I don't like koala. I wonder why he doesn't like him. Let's find out. Adam does not like koala. Koala is the most terrible. He has terrible eyes that follow Adam everywhere he goes. Adam tries to explain to his parents, I don't like koala, but they don't understand. It says every night when it's time to go to bed, Adam has the same routine. He takes a bath, he puts on his pajamas, he brushes his teeth, and he tries to get rid of koala. Adam puts koala away. Away is a lot of different places. Looks like you put him in a pan, on top of the refrigerator, under the stove, in the laundry. But every morning when Adam wakes up, koala is always there, in his bed, on his pillow, closer than close. I don't like koala. father says, don't play with Koala like that or you'll lose him. I don't like Koala. Mother says, don't leave Koala behind. You know how you'd miss him. I don't like Koala. After snack time, father says, you must have loved your snack. You ate every bite. What snack? Asked Adam. Oh, maybe it was Koala, says father. Adam is sick and tired of Koala. He takes Koala on a long, long walk. They climb hills, they walk around rocks, they wander among the trees, and when Adam is certain Koala isn't looking, he runs away. Among the trees, around the rocks, over the hills, all the way home, and there's Koala! How does that happen? It says that night as Adam dresses for bed, he knows there is nothing worse than Koala. He is the most terrible, terrible. He has a terrible face, terrible paws, terrible eyes that follow him everywhere, watching and watching. Watching and watching for a more terrible, terrible. Gulp. Maybe Koala isn't terrible after all. Adam makes sure Koala's comfortable. He makes sure he is closer than close. And right before he goes to sleep, he whispers, I love Koala. But Adam's father says, I don't like Koala. So that is our story. I don't like Koala. Who could not like a koala? They're cute and fluffy and soft. I don't know. Maybe you have a stuffed animal at home that you don't really, really like, but you don't have to sleep with it. So we're going to make a koala, and we're going to talk a little bit more about koalas and where they come from. So let me get ready, and we will move on. So I'm back. And here we are, and we're going to talk about koalas. We read the story about the little boy who didn't like the koala, but he ended up liking the koala because the koala protected him from the things that were more terrible than the koala was. So K is for koala, and who could not like a koala? Look how cute and adorable they are. I mean, they look soft and fluffy. They're pretty darn cute. Well, where would you find a koala? I know you're thinking at the zoo, but koalas live in Australia. And Australia is a continent, and it says that most of the koalas are on this part of Australia where it's orange here. So the majority of the koalas live here. So we're going to make a koala today out of some things that I think you might have at home. And I'm going to give you some facts about koalas because that's what Miss Barb likes to do. So our koala today that we're going to make is out of a paper plate. I hope you have a paper plate at home. And some newspaper. And Miss Barb had to go get some newspaper downstairs in the library. And you know what I like about this project is at first I don't have to use my scissors because I get to tear the paper. And I'm going to need a glue stick. So koalas are gray in color. So newspaper is black and white, which is kind of gray. So we're going to use the gray and black and white parts of the newspaper. So we're going to take our newspaper and we're going to tear it into pieces. And I like to do it like this. And I just keep stacking on top of each other until I just keep ripping it up into little pieces that we're going to use to decorate our koala. All right, so I got a pile paper. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to take my glue stick. So there's my glue stick. And I'm going to rub it onto the plate. I'm going to put a lot on there because I want the paper to stick. So Miss Barb's going to be very generous, and she's going to take her paper and she's going to stick it all over to make her gray koala. And I will show you in a second what it's going to look like as soon as I get this middle part covered up. And if you don't want to take a long time to do it, don't rip your pieces of paper too small because then it'll be like a mosaic. And a mosaic is when you take a whole bunch of little pieces and make one big picture out of them. So if your glue starts to dry up, just keep adding more glue until you've covered the whole entire plate with paper. I may not get that all done today because it's going to take a while for me, and I don't want you guys to be like, do I have to keep watching Miss Barb make that koala? I want to make it quick. So it's a quick koala, like our quick words that we were doing today. All right, so I'm going to cover up my plate like this, but I'm going to cover the whole plate. So I'm going to keep covering up the glue so you can't see the white, and all you see is the gray newspaper. All right, so my koala is going to need a nose. And they used black paper, but Miss Barb didn't bring any black paper in the room with her. She has some gray paper, which is right here. I have some gray, and I have some white. So I'm gonna make his nose. Now a koala's nose is not a circle, it's an oval. And an oval's kind of like this. It's longer, but it's got curved edges on it. So I'm gonna fold the paper in half like this, and I'm gonna cut out my oval, because sometimes it's easier for me to do it this way. So I'm gonna give him a nose. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because we're just making this koala. Let's see how this looks. Does this look like an oval? Kind of. It's a little not ovally on the side. Hold on. And let me fix it. Okay. So now it's like it's not perfect. I know Miss Barb says it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want it to look good for you. There we go. That's better. Now it's an oval, and this is his nose. So I'm going to take the oval and I'm going to glue it on so he has a nose. And you can cut it out of whatever you have. Maybe you want to use different color newspaper. I don't know. But I just happen to have this gray paper, so I'm going to stick that on there. It might look better if it was black, but so there's his nose right there. All right. So next is his ears. And his ears, they stick off of his head, and they're kind of like circles, but they're not perfect circles. So I'm going to cut out 2 circles out of my gray paper to give him some ears. Okay, now I got 2 ears. Do I look like a koala? I don't think so. All right, and I need a white circle that's smaller, because these are going to be the inside part of his ears. So not as big of a circle. I'm going to cut that out. Maybe you have some printer paper you can use for white. I don't know. Just use your imagination and find things at the house. This is kind of like a recycled project. And Miss Barb likes projects where we recycle things, because you have so much stuff that we just throw away, and the landfills just get too filled up. All right, so there's my ears. Ta-da! I'm going to stick those on the side of my koala. Put one here. I think it's going to take a lot of glue to hold these on. And they put them behind it, okay. So I'm going to put some glue on there. I'm going to stick it on. I might have to use some tape to hold it on, because I don't want it to fall off. All right, there's one ear. And let's do the other one. Stick that one on. I might have to tape that. So now I have 2 ears on my koala. What is he missing? He's missing eyes. So I'm going to make 2 little circles for his eyes. 2 circles. Okay. And I'm going to put black in the middle of them. I'm going to use a Sharpie so that they have smaller circles inside of them. And just like that. Doesn't have to be hard. You can make it as easy as possible. Put some glue on it. Wow, that's a lot of glue. Miss Barb, what were you thinking? Oh, I was thinking I didn't want it to come off. That's what I was thinking. I didn't want it to fall off. All right. And there is my newspaper paper plate koala bear, all recycled. Ta-da! So, what do we know about koalas? Well, we know that koalas are nocturnal. Remember, that means they're active at night. What else do we know about koalas? Koalas are not bears. They're marsupials, and that's a really big word, marsupial. And that means that they have a pouch. So their babies are in a pouch. What other animals do you know that have pouches? Kangaroos. And where do kangaroos live? They also live in Australia too. That's where you would find a koala and a kangaroo. So a koala is an Australian animal called a koala bear, but they're not bears, they're marsupials, and they have a pouch. They look fuzzy, but their hair feels like wool. It says they have 2 opposing thumbs, like we do, and they can hold on to the branches like this. Say, they hold on to it. And they also have 2 toes on their feet, which they use to comb their fur. Koalas eat eucalyptus. It says that they're not sleeping, they're eating. They rely on the eucalyptus for their habitat and their food. That means that eucalyptus trees provide them a home and food. It says that eucalyptus is toxic, so that the koala's digestive system has to work hard to digest it. And why do koalas sleep so much? Is because they get very little energy from their diet. They sleep for 18 to 22 hours a day. There's only 24 hours in a day. Man, that's the life, isn't it? And they don't drink very much water because they get their moisture from the leaves. They eat a lot of eucalyptus. It says they eat it so much that they start to smell like eucalyptus. So it says the koala numbers have plummeted in the late 19th and 20th century. So koalas are kind of on the, they're listed as vulnerable. They're not extinct and they're not in danger, but they're vulnerable. So that's our story about koalas today. So we have one more nocturnal animal that we're going to talk about next week. So we talked about owls, raccoons, and koalas. So I can't wait to see what next week's animal is. So let's do the goodbye song. So it goes like this. Goodbye, goodbye, see you soon, but not until we sing this tune. We must part and we must go, but I'll be back to say hello. So I'm gonna say, see you later, alligator, and after a while, crocodile. And good day, mate, as they would say in Australia. Goodbye, everybody.